After dozens of violent incidents like this against Teslas across the country, tonight the FBI announcing it's launching a new task force comprised of counterterrorism agents to investigate who's targeting dealerships, cars, and charging stations.
Welcome back to our channel. You're here with our host, the Conservative Bird, and his co-host, me, Double D. And you're on the Brick Road Podcast.
Yes, sir. And here on the Brick Road Podcast, we like to keep you up to date with all the current world and local news events going on around today. We got a couple of good ones to get into here. We're going to talk a little bit about Tesla. We're going to talk a little bit about Trump and what he has to say about it. And we're also seeing that he might know who's behind all this going on. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Let's just get into it. So, here we have Jasmine Crockett. And, you know, if we're to hold Democrats to the same standard that they hold us to, which is, you know, that's kind of being fair, right? Then
Correct.
Shouldn't Jasmine Crockett then be in trouble for what's going on with all these Tesla stations getting bombed, all these cars getting bombed around the country, all the crazy stuff going on? Like, I even see things with, like, people. I seen a video of a person that was in a wheelchair and their car was keyed from front to back, and it's like, what are you guys doing? You don't even know who you're doing this stuff to.
Ironically, they're probably doing it to Democrats because they outnumbered conservatives 2-1 on the electric cars.
Right, and we all know that Tesla's the biggest electric car vehicle company in the country right now. I don't know about around the world. I never looked into it, but I know in the country, they are 100% American, and they are the biggest sellers of the electric vehicle. How are you going to support one thing and then turn around and try and destroy it? It doesn't make any sense, and it shows how brainwashed they are.
That's because he switched sides. He's now a Trump supporter. He jumped the Trump train, and now they're throwing him out to the wolves. Unfortunately, it's kind of like they're spiting their own face. I mean, it's biting off your own nose to spite your face because electric cars is their thing. But, hey, I digress.
Right.
You know what? Again, when you're dealing with a party where stupidity and dumb fuckery are almost a requirement,
yeah,
this is what you're going to get, man.
I guess this is common sense. To them, this is common sense. So, if you guys haven't seen yet, we'll show you what we're talking about. This is Jasmine Crockett here, deciding that on her birthday, they want people to do harm to Elon Musk, but yet she's not calling for violence, she said. But when Trump told people to peacefully and patriotically make your voice heard, for some reason he was an insurrectionist. Where is the logic? So if we're to hold them to the same standards that they hold us to, she honestly needs to be tried in court, just like Trump was. So let's get into it a little bit. This is just a little brief thing of what she had to say for her birthday. That, mind you, this is her birthday wishes.
I am truly here for very selfish reasons. Starting with on March 29th, it's my birthday. And all I want to see happen on my birthday is for Elon to be taken down. Yes. Listen, I have learned as I serve on the Doge Oversight Committee that there is only one language that the people that are in charge understand right now. And that language is money.
What does that mean? I don't understand that.
I don't understand what the hell that's supposed to mean, other than the taking down Elon and the threat. The rest of it just sounds like another word salad. I think we might have found Kamala Part 2.
Yeah, obviously. I mean,
she made a comment about Elon Musk being Trump's queen.
Right.
Well, she's the queen of
the Democratic Party.
Yeah, she is. She's the queen of idiocracy.
Yeah.
Oh my God, if that's the best that they got, it's just her and AOC. I'll say this: that AOC should at least have a smooth run.
I feel like Vandals will eat both of them up in the primaries and in the debates and everything.
Oh, absolutely. But I mean, at this point, when you look at the bench that the Democrats have on deck there, I'm not really sure. Oh boy, I don't know, man. They're looking bad. That's all I can say.
Here's the crazy thing. The next video we're going to get into here in a second, they literally had to create a task force just for these lunatics. How wild is that? But we're the Nazis, and we're the deranged ones, and we're the ones that hate America, yet a 100% American company you guys are trying to completely destroy because you don't agree with his political ideology. Make that make sense.
You know, here's the thing. If they wouldn't have groomed his son into becoming a girl, he never would have even saw all this happening. He only saw what was going on with the wokeness because it started affecting him directly.
Yeah.
And now, and you know, they targeted the wrong kid, man.
Yeah.
They went to groom the wrong kid. And
it's very true.
Know, and he sold them billions of dollars worth of Teslas before he turned on them, too. That's the best part of it.
That's for sure. Well, not only that, I also think that when he bought Twitter and he started looking into the Twitter files, he saw so much corruption and wrongness that he felt like the need to write it, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And, dude, I mean, you know, here's the thing. I was watching Ron Paul the other day, Rand Paul's father. He was he was doing an interview. I think it was on Hannity.
Okay.
But anyway, it doesn't matter. But he was talking about with all the cuts of just the fraud and waste, it would take 2 years before we even start seeing a debt in the deficit.
That's wild.
Like, that's how long overdue that this is, that this cutting out this waste. That's how much waste that there was, that it takes up 2 years of government and cost of government to retrieve it back.
Wow.
Think about that, man. That's how much money they've wasted, that it'll take 2 years with our new, with the budget just to break even from that again.
It's crazy. We've been in such a large deficit for so long that it's even a shock that we're even able to do this, to even possibly get out of debt. Like, no other president made this a priority other than, I mean, Clinton. Clinton had this as one of his priorities to try and make our budget, our deficit even, which I think he did, right? That was one thing that Clinton was good for.
They did come to a balanced budget that was bipartisan.
Yeah.
Clinton had the luxury of a bipartisan 8 years in office.
Yeah.
Back then, the Democrats and the Republicans were more on the same page, but you did have guys like Ron Paul out there who was like, you know, he was one of the, I believe he was a senator at the time, or maybe a representative, but back in the 90s. And he, you know, he was always pushing for a budget. And here he is 30 years later, still saying, you know, so we're still talking about the same waste he was talking about 30 years ago under the Clinton regime. So
it's crazy.
Yeah, they balanced the budget, but dude, that housing market, everybody wants to blame George W. Bush for the crashing of the housing market of 2008.
Right.
But that truly was the fault of the Clinton years, because they were the ones giving out all those bad loans.
Yep, with all the balloons. Everybody had balloons on the end of them.
Yeah. And then the predatory lending, they never did anything to stop that from happening. So, you know, he boosted the economy, but he also bursted that economy 8 years after he was out of office. So
unfortunately,
that fell on George W. and rightfully so. There was some blame in there for him too.
Oh, for sure, because we all know he's not the brightest crayon in the box.
Well, and it wasn't even. His you know, the whole savings and loan thing in the late 90s. I mean, you know, or in the late 80s. That was his father. So you know. I mean, and then, you know, and I didn't see George W. trying to stop any of those predatory lendings going. If anything, I think he hyped it up. I think he created an express lane to it.
Possibly. All right, so we're getting a little off topic. Let's get back on.
We did.
So the things have gotten so bad, like I said, that they're literally creating a task force within the FBI to go after people bombing and vandalizing these Tesla cars and these the showrooms. I just seen a thing somebody had bombs on a showroom. Like, what are you people doing? How is it that you're this deranged that you feel the need to want to do vandalism to other people's stuff or possibly harm somebody? You never know. Somebody could get in that car and it could blow up because somebody, strapped a bomb underneath and didn't realize that they were getting in it. Like, it's just crazy to me how far gone that these people are to where that they're willing to do this.
Well, that's the thing, dude. Everybody, this is a culture war going on, man. The communists have declared war. The left-wing commies and socialists have declared war, and people like Jasmine Crockett and AOC and Maxine Waters and even Chuck Schumer, man, he's trying to back away from it now. But the truth be told, he's just as responsible for some of this rhetoric.
That's true. That's true.
And the behavior that's happening as a result of it. There's no accountability in the Democratic Party. That's the biggest difference between the Republican Party and the Democrat Party. Republicans hold themselves accountable.
Exactly.
The Democrats do not hold anyone accountable. They just let them run wild like a bunch of children.
But they want us to hold ourselves accountable. All right, so let's get into it. They're going to talk a little bit about this FBI task force.
Task force to investigate the growing reports of attacks targeting Tesla dealers and vehicles. At least 48 incidents nationwide. And now police say multiple incendiary devices were found at a Tesla dealership. ABC's Maria Villarreal reports from Austin, Texas.
After dozens of violent incidents like this against Teslas across the country, tonight the FBI announcing it's launching a new task force comprised of counterterrorism agents to investigate who's targeting dealerships, cars, and charging stations. Today, law enforcement swarming this Austin dealership not far from Tesla's headquarters. Police finding and removing several incendiary devices.
Dude, that's crazy.
I know, it's insane. I think there was a total of 48 different devices all over the country. Dude, these people want to kill people, man. That's what that is, dude. When you start putting bombs in cars and people are going to show up to work and one of those, dude, right now, none of the bombs have gone off in the showroom, at least, thank God.
Luckily.
I'm surprised. Because they've been setting the cars and the stations on fire for the last 3 weeks. These people are certifiably insane.
Seriously.
And the mainstream media feeds them, man.
Yeah, they just give it to them all the time, and they make it seem like they're not doing nothing wrong. But, like, this is way worse than what happened on January 6th.
Oh, so, dude, they're gonna use that January 6th until all of them have passed and beyond. But yeah, the summer of love, and now here we are again. We're going into another summer. Now they're going to burn Tesla stations, blow up stations with people in them.
What's next?
Crazy. They're going to blow up. What's next? Train stations? What's next? New York City in the subway station? Because where does it stop? Where does it end?
Right, like what are you going to do? Literally burn down all the charging stations for electric vehicles? It doesn't make any sense to me. This is the thing that they support the most. Is electric vehicles and whole green energy. Like that's a big Democratic policy. Am I wrong about that?
No, not at all.
So you're literally going to burn down the thing that you support the most just because they disagree with you politically.
Yeah.
This makes me feel like that it's a bigger motive than just individual people.
Dude, the Democratic Party will saw off their own arm to slap themselves with it.
Seriously.
If they were told to. If they're told to, like, keep in mind, Tim Waltz, Tampon Timmy, our boy from Minnesota.
Yeah.
The little fat boy, the Shawshank Redemption. He wants his mommy. Feminine little bastard. Anyway.
The one who said he could beat anybody up until Kane decided to call him out.
Yeah, look how excited he got about Tesla losing its stock by 225 points. It's like, you dumbass.
That's an American country or company.
a bunch of Democrats own tons of stock in Tesla. You basically killed your own constituency's pocket.
It's just crazy.
I mean, conservatives, yes, we own Tesla stock and stuff like that too,
Right.
but Democrats live by that. By the like Ben and Jerry's, who's going bankrupt, by the way. Also, Ben and Jerry's.
I heard about that.
Their parent company said they got to step down.
I heard about that. That's crazy.
Go woke, go broke. I remember the first time my daughter, and I know she's not woke anymore.
Yeah.
But when she was first going to college and she was coming back and telling me, "Dad, you need to be more woke," I remember jokingly saying, "Yeah, go woke and go broke. Watch it happen." Here we are, 13 years later,
and they're all going broke. Look at Disney. Disney just put out that Snow White movie. A bunch of what do we call them? Midgets? I don't even know what they call them. I don't know.
Well, the dwarves, they use
they use CGI instead of real people, and they're all pissed off.
They're always talking about inclusivity. Well, I didn't see any midgets or dwarfs from Hollywood in that movie. I saw a bunch of imprinted cartoons.
It's like Disney, especially. They're killing themselves.
Again, sawing off their own arm to slap themselves in the head with it.
Yeah. All right, let's get back into it.
At that same showroom over the weekend, crowds protesting. Officials have not indicated whether today's discovery is tied to that event.
Elon Musk has got to go.
But anger over Musk's role in the White House growing coast to coast, from New York City to Boston, Memphis, and Colorado Springs. The FBI say
I just seen a sign. It said "Deport Elon."
Elon's an American citizen. He can't be deported.
I don't
see that they've gotten so confused about how immigration and illegal immigration work. They actually think Elon's the illegal immigrant, but the guy from MS-13 and Tren de Aragua, those guys are just fine.
I am so confused by this.
They let them have that apartment building. They earned it.
Oh wow!
they made that 3,000-mile trip across.
Yeah, I guess so. Just the whole walk, they definitely deserve it now.
Yeah, they deserve it. They deserve it.
There's been at least 48 instances in more than 9 states since January, including arson, gunfire, and graffiti. The FBI now urging Americans to be vigilant around Tesla locations. The president, who's called the Vandals garbage, today saying those caught are terrorists who should cut it out.
They're going to suffer very grave consequences because they're really terrorists when you think about it. They're terrorists at a high level.
I can see it. I don't know if I would say terrorist. I would say
domestic terrorists for sure. I mean,
I guess because the reasoning they're doing it is political.
I mean, what were they calling the J6ers? They were calling them domestic terrorists.
Yeah, okay. Hey, let's just give them what they want.
I didn't see anything get burned to the ground by them, but hey. Apparently burning Teslas is just another episode of Summer of Love and protesting a stolen election, which I'm fully convinced now that Joe Biden never won that. And even if he did win it fair and square, he wasn't even aware of it.
I was never convinced that he won it
anyway.
I was never convinced that he won it, to be honest.
I accepted it because
it is what it is.
Well, I figured it was a good lesson that America needed to learn. Sometimes you got to put a beating on people before they realize. And Joe Biden and the Democrats have been beating on them now for almost 8 years.
That is very true. All right, let's finish this one up.
Musk says several of his Doge employees have actually received death threats, with a global day of action set for March 29th. Organizers calling for peaceful protests at Tesla locations this Wednesday across the globe, including this one right here in Austin. The FBI will surely be on high alert. Whit.
All right, Maria, thank you.
As they should be.
That's wild. That is crazy. So people are getting death threats over somebody's political affiliation. That it's not even them. They could be completely on the opposite side of Elon.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying, dude. Again, they don't care, dude. This is all collateral damage. Dude, the Democratic Party has been a thorn in this country's side since 1776 and beyond, but really since 1789. They're the oldest party in the country, and that's why. And they pretty much have been a uniparty since Roosevelt, and look what it's got us. So here we are. Now they resort. This is it, dude. Their approval ratings are down to 26%. This is all they have left is creating chaos, vigilantism. This domestic terrorism. I'm going to call it what it is.
Yeah.
The Democratic Party are the party of domestic terrorists.
Yeah.
From the Ku Klux Klan to burning Teslas. Nothing's changed with the Democratic Party.
Well, look at this. We even got this right here.
They were burning crosses 60 years ago, and now they're burning Teslas.
The liberals, they don't want to give their Teslas up, but they also don't want to be ridiculed for it. So they're deciding to take off their logos, and they feel like they're liberated. But how dare are you? They not realize, guess what, buddy? You still bought a Tesla. You still paid for it. You didn't steal it. So it doesn't matter if you take the logo off of it. Elon Musk still made the money off you. How brain dead are you people? Are you guys seriously thinking that this is doing something? It's doing nothing, because at the end of the day, you still bought a Tesla.
And not only that, Teslas look like Teslas. It's not like there's a whole huge variety of different, looks and colors. Teslas look like Teslas. I don't care how much you take the little sticker off. It's still going to look like a Tesla.
Exactly. I got to see this.
You can put a Toyota emblem on it. It's still going to look like a Tesla. It's just going to look like a Tesla with a Toyota emblem on it.
Exactly.
And an idiot behind the wheel.
Yeah, that's for sure. All right, let's check this out, because I got to see this.
Well, of course, we see many Teslas around our area here, and some of those drivers fear retaliation for just having the car. For others, they want to erase the mark that represents the billionaire. We met a man who did just that.
Fishing line, soft cloth, it was never there. Once.
Each T.
He really
That's what Tim Waltz was bragging about, how you could take it off with fishing string. That's what he's talking about. He's using fishing string there to say, what a fucking idiot. I'm sorry. I don't care. I don't even care if this guy's a right winger. He's still a fucking moron.
No, I'll guarantee that this dude's a liberal.
He's definitely a liberal.
I'm betting my house on it. He's a liberal. We're gonna check. Let's finish watching it. We're gonna see.
Removed off a Tesla feels like a silent protest for Jordan Schwartz.
It's symbolic, but I think.
Boom.
It's
called
symbolic.
It silent protest. You are taking the emblem off of your car, the car that you bought with your money, to silent protest what? If you want a silent protest, go take it back. That's how you silent protest. Yeah. Go burn your own car. Silent protest.
Does this guy live in California? I bet he does, because he knows by 2030, he ain't got a choice. He's got to drive that Tesla anyway.
I'll guarantee he's in San Francisco or something.
He probably already collected his state rebate check from the state of California for it. So
I just can't believe these people. Nobody cares about a logo. You're driving the car. You're not driving the logo.
I guess he thinks without that T on there, it looks like a Volvo or something. I don't.
His car's he's transitioning. Oh he cut something off of his Tesla, so it's transitioning into a Toyota. That's what it is.
So basically, what you're trying to tell me then is he's castrating his Tesla just like he did himself.
Yeah. So his Tesla went from being a car of a man to being a trans-cis.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell they're called anymore.
I don't know. Who knows what the fuck they call him?
I just know this dude is he's definitely not on the right side of thinking. He is ignorant, stupid, and this doesn't make sense. Like,
no, it don't. It's because it wasn't never supposed to make sense. It's always been about retaining power. But here's what happened. They lost the power, Bird. They don't have any left. So without any power, they're useless as tits on a bull. And here we are.
Man,
this is the example of uselessness. Useful idiots. What the Democratic and the Liberal Party has become.
I'd like to finish watching this, but like I don't want to feel like I'm gonna be less intelligent after watching it.
Oh, we're probably gonna be stupider after watching it, but let that clip roll, Bird.
I think symbols matter. You know, it's tearing down a flag. It's raising a flag.
With the heat gun, screw gun, and fishing line, he removed his Tesla logos and has now done it for several other people too.
Gives me pleasure and satisfaction.
Schwartz bought his Tesla in 2021, making the switch over to electric. He still thinks Teslas are good cars, and despite his disgust with Musk, he didn't really consider getting rid of his altogether.
I don't see any practical use in selling it.
But many have. According to the market tracking site Cardinal,
I'm just gonna ruin it.
Now has the most common.
I'm not gonna sell it.
I think he's just gonna wait for someone to torch it in his driveway.
I'm not gonna sell it. I'm gonna devalue it.
I'm not telling anybody to torch his Tesla in the driveway, but if any of you crazy libs are going to be torching Teslas, start with his.
Oh my gosh, bro! Like you're an idiot. You're not gonna
deserve a Tesla.
You're not gonna take it back, but you're gonna devalue it. That doesn't make any sense.
Oh my God, dumb dipshits and dimwits and dumb fuckery, dude. The Democratic Party. Now I know why they're the party of a donkey, because they're stubborn assholes.
Oh my, this is ridiculous. I can't believe these people.
On the used car market, the majority of the used Teslas are selling for around $30,000. Just 3 years ago, the average cost of the used car was $70,000.
That was in Biden's America.
Selling it is for fear of retaliation. In the Seattle area alone, at least 5 Teslas have been set on fire.
I won't be cowed by Nazis. I won't be cowed by people on the left. I mean, I'm making this decision because it's a statement I want to make about my ideology. I'm not doing it out of fear.
Schwartz is Jewish and accuses Musk.
Yeah, right. You know damn well you just don't want somebody to firebomb your Tesla.
Right, because he knows that somebody's probably going to blow that up in his driveway. I'd say park it in your garage, dumbass.
Anti-Semitic because of his recent comments and his ties to alt-right political ideas.
It is a gesture of rejecting that ideology.
Musk denies claims of anti-Semitism against him. Earlier this month, he suggested the attacks against his company are politically motivated.
They want to hurt Tesla because we're stopping this terrible waste and corruption.
Schwartz sees removing the T's on his trunk as his role in fighting back.
Another threat.
Fighting back against what?
Dude, the guy's a fucking idiot.
Like,
I don't know what he thinks he's going to prove. What? First of all, they're still going to know it's a. As a matter of fact,
multiple cars were.
If anything, now everybody knows where there's a Tesla that goes to go blow up. What a guy's an idiot.
I mean,
he's putting himself out there to get his own car blown up, dude. It's crazy.
This guy is on the side of people doing things like this.
Multiple cars were set on fire at a Tesla service center in Las Vegas Tuesday morning in what authorities described as a targeted attack. And the person responsible is still at large. A vehicle fire was first reported around 2:45 a.m. at the Tesla Collision Center in the 6000 block of Bajira Avenue, near Jones Boulevard and the 215 Beltway. Las Vegas Metropolitan Police said in an email. Multiple Tesla vehicles, dealerships and charging stations have been utilized in recent weeks around the nation, including in Oregon and Washington state. Protests have been staged at Tesla dealerships as well in response to the company's CEO Elon Musk and his work with President Donald Trump.
Dude, that's wild that people are willing to go to this level just because of somebody's political affiliation.
I'm not one bit surprised either, dude. I have friends who are just as radical liberals who I'm sure right now are sitting in the bar toasting every Tesla that gets burnt to or gets blown up. They're toasting every bomb that gets found in a Tesla, dealership. I mean, this is crazy, man. When somebody dies, people need to be held accountable.
Look at
They need
this.
to be held accountable anyway.
Elon Musk only owns 12.8% of Tesla. Dear liberals, the other 87.2% is owned by companies funding your 401k.
That is very true, dude. The 401ks, Tesla's their number one stock.
That's crazy. These
Dude,
people are
that's what I'm saying.
deranged.
Dude, like they're just cutting their toes off one at a time, and they think every time they cut their toe off, they hurt us. That's the irony. I say keep cutting off your toes, Democrats.
Oh yeah, I'm with it. I'm with it.
Keep cutting off your fingers and your limbs. Keep beating yourself with your armpits.
Yes,
whatever
sir.
it takes.
Just keep it going.
You're keeping the message. You're keeping the idiocracy, and you're staying stupid. God bless you, I guess.
Right.
I would be so embarrassed to be a Democrat today. I'm so glad I've voted a Democrat a few times, but I've never been a registered Democrat. Thank God. That's a guilt I don't have to live with.
So right here, this is a little bit of a longer video than I thought, but Trump talks about he knows which globalist scum are actually behind funding all of this. And obviously you know that these people aren't just doing it themselves. They're obviously antagonized to do it. We all know that. Everyone knows it. That's what these liberal scumbags do. All these people do is try to cause chaos as much as they can. So this is Trump saying that, I know who's behind it. Double D, you know who's behind all this.
Oh, I have a good feeling.
But
I have a
we
very
don't have
good
to say
feeling.
anything yet. We'll see. We'll see where it goes.
Let's just say that his name rhymes with Toros.
Yeah. And if he was Spanish, it would be Jorge.
Yeah.
He's never asked me for a thing. He could have. I always say, I wonder if he's ever going to ask me for something. And that's always subject to change. And if it does change, I'll let you know.
He's talking about Elon right there.
Elon has never asked me for a thing. I mean, I got rid of the electric car mandate. I have no idea how that affects him, but possibly not good. I don't know. But he's never asked me for a thing. And I think that's an amazing tribute. I did get activated last week when I saw what they were doing. I said, he makes an incredible product, and we're going to go out and tell people you can't do that stuff and support him. They got to support him, because if he wasn't doing this, he wouldn't have any of these difficulties. And I think it's getting less and less. Pam has done a great job with regard to all of the, I know the kind of investigations that are going on. If she finds them, which she will, she already found 4 of them. But I think they're going to suffer very grave consequences, because they're really terrorists when you think about it. They're terrorists at a high level. And I think the people that are financing them, they could very well be people I know, people that you write about. But those people are in big trouble. So they better cut it out. But Elon's a patriot. We want to thank you very much for the job you're doing.
I agree with Trump about that.
Oh yeah, dude, we know who it is.
Yeah, and
he can't outright say it
because he knows who it is. Because he says you guys write about him, blah blah blah. He knows who it is.
Yeah.
So here's the craziest thing, right? So after Jasmine Crockett says all the things that she had to say, somebody decided they made a literally a Tesla takedown website, and this is to sell your Teslas. Dump your stock. Stop Musk now. Join us. Like, who created this? George Soros?
I honestly think that multi-millionaires who have tons of money in stock invested in Tesla, do they really think that they're happy about this? I mean, if they are,
right now might be the time to buy Tesla stock, honestly.
Hell yeah, because it's going to go right back up once this chicanery is over, dude. Because this is nothing but a joke.
This is pathetic. This is a pathetic attempt by the liberals to stop their paychecks from coming in.
Watch, there'll be more police than actual protesters. The only people that are going to show up are the agitators. The real Democrats that have left the party or have at least shunned themselves from it. They're not going to be at that protest. That's going to be radicals, lunatic lefties. That's it.
Right.
I mean, nothing but a bunch of fucking nutcases. And they're all going to be on display for the whole world to see. I can't wait to see that dumb fuckery in action.
Yep. It's crazy. So our next little topic we're going to be getting into is going to be more into what Doge is doing and why they're so upset. They're all getting their paydays. There's no more vacation on us. No more doing what you want. No more additional add-ons. No more buying houses on the people's money and the people's watches. It's over with. And these people can't stand that they don't get a free payday anymore. I mean, look at all the government spending that they've been finding through Doge. All the wasteful spending. Dude, we have a video right here.
NGOs.
Right, we have a video right here. $2.7 trillion just in Medicare. I mean, how?
To Doge just for.
I don't understand how our government got so out of control and so radicalized that we just did all this spending and didn't even care. It's almost like we gave these companies blank checkbooks and say, do what you want.
Here's the problem. Insurance companies for a long time, even despite Medicaid and Medicare, insurance companies for a long time have been complaining about overcharging, and a lot of insurance companies are pulling out of different doctors' offices for the very reason that they way overcharge.
Really?
So,
I didn't know that.
I mean, it's supply and demand. If the doctor's supplying the work and the insurance company's paying for it, and then whatever your part of paying of it is too.
Okay.
I mean, and if they're overcharging, they're taking advantage of the system. I mean, quite honestly, do you really believe that a Band-Aid costs $400?
Right. It's crazy. It's crazy because these doctors they take oaths. You know what I mean? When they get their license, like they take like oaths, like they're gonna do things the right way. Then you hear about like things like this, like how you're saying overcharging for no reason. Then you hear
it's been going on for decades.
Right.
Man.
Well, you remember in Florida they had the pill mills in Florida where the doctors were taking advantage of being able to get as many opiates as they wanted to people. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's like it's crazy that these doctors will still scheme, even though they worked so hard and for so many years to get their degrees, to just throw it away for nothing like that.
That was a good example, actually, that you used about the pill mills, because there's an economic factor that would fit right in with this. When people were just going to the pill mills and getting prescriptions, they were paying the doctors off whatever it was the doctor was asking.
Right.
And then those who had Medicaid and Medicare, so the people that were paying for it would come out, go get their prescription. It'd be like $7 or $8. They'd pay $200 to see the doctor. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So
yeah, I know how it was going.
So it cost them $200. They got like 90 days worth of Oxycontin or whatever it was.
But they would go to like 10 different doctors.
But those who are on Medicaid and Medicare, it was paid for by Medicaid and Medicare. So instead of them paying $8 for the prescription, they were charging probably $8,000,
which is wild. Yeah, it's wild.
That's what they're talking about, Medicaid fraud like that.
And then say somebody was doing this on their insurance as well. Right, there's a situation where of Medicare and how they could just overcharge for something. You know what I mean?
They've been doing it that's why. And now Medicaid and Medicare have actually been standing their ground, and they've been capping stuff off. So a lot of doctors are dropping Medicaid too.
Okay.
And that's because they're like, well,
because they can't scam them no more.
They can't get the inflated price, so they're like, fuck it, we're not going to do Medicaid.
Okay, right. So, like, here's an example right here. And this is just overseas money that they were talking about, right? $2.7 trillion in overseas money that was wasteful spending.
Medicaid and Medicare funding people who don't even live in this country.
This isn't even in our country. This is just what was going overseas. Imagine what they're doing to the money here.
Well, it's also money going. It's also money going to the pharmaceutical companies, money going to China, money going to Pakistan and India, where they make a lot of the different drugs. So, especially opiates, dude. If you look at Afghanistan, you look at India, Pakistan, China, all those countries are huge opiate, suppliers for like the pill industry.
Right, it's crazy. Well, all right, so let's see what who is this? Is this not Pam Bondi, but the press speaker? I always forget her name because she's still newer.
Oh shit, I can't even think of her name right.
I can't think of her name either, and I love her. Caroline Levitt.
Yeah, Caroline Levitt. That's
all right. So let's see what she has to say about it.
Just for a second. Earlier, the subcommittee headed by Chairman Marcia Taylor Greene, her and her staff discovered $2.7 trillion in improper payments to Medicare, Medicaid, overseas, to people who should not have gotten it. Some of this room might have missed that press conference. Can you elaborate on what the president is thinking at this point?
Well, again, that's another example. There's a very long list of the fraud, waste, and abuse that DOGE is identifying on a daily basis. Elon Musk also talked about yesterday about Social Security payments that are going out the door for people who are no longer with us. Unfortunately, I would say that is certainly fraud. There's also a lot of contracts they've identified that, just as a hypothetical example, are $1 million, but only 500,000 went out the door. So where's the rest of that cash? And so that's the thing. Those are the things that DOGE is working on every single day. And I would just remind everybody in this room, this is what President Trump campaigned on doing. He's delivering on a promise that
Yes, he is.
1,000%, and that's what 90% of these liberals do not understand.
Promises made, promises delivered, and they're not getting it. They think they're getting the shaft. But
I've said this before. They think that they get us in a gotcha moment. Like, how do you like what he's doing? We like what he's doing. We want him to keep doing what he's doing.
I'm going to tell him the truth. I love that's why I voted for him.
Right.
I voted for Donald Trump in 2020 and 2024. I did not vote for him in 2016.
I voted for him all 3 years.
But in 2018, I was a believer. I know that
3 years for me.
And then I went and read his book. I mean, that was all I needed. I was like, all right, this guy.
We vote for lesser government, less government spending, less fraud, while the Democrats vote for 11-year-old children to get business loans in their name during COVID.
Dude,
that's what they voted for.
$100,000 for a 1-month-old baby.
Man,
and I mean, come on, that was
got to be the richest baby in the world.
Well, I mean, I hope he invests it well.
Hopefully, I hope so.
Maybe he invested it in some of that, Trump crypto coin.
Yeah, we'll see about that one.
$300 million in fraudulent loans to children. That is what Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency now claims. And according to DOGE, the Small Business Administration approved.
Why is it when we do something they say now claims? Well, like if Joe Biden were to do it, they would act like it's 1,000% accurate.
They would have said it was the absolute truth. It was the gospel truth. And don't you believe that he's incognitive? You know what I mean? Like
this is what's wrong with the liberal media, you guys. Seriously, this is what's wrong.
Joseph Goebbels once said, "Tell a big enough lie for long enough, and you'll eventually win the hearts and minds of the people." The only problem is they've been telling the lies for so long now that they've had the hearts and minds of the people, but now the people are waking up and saying, wait a minute. This sounds like bullshit to me.
Right. And everybody's starting, and it's not everybody. A lot of people really are starting to realize all the stuff that is going on is just, it's illogical and it's not built on common sense. So
the big lie is coming to an end. They've been telling it for so long, they actually believe it, Bird.
Yeah, unfortunately. So I still can't believe this, that $300 million, and this is just what they found so far in fraudulent loans to children. Like, this is crazy.
nearly 5,600 loans to borrowers whose only listed owner was 11 years or younger. The specific
5,600?
5,600 loans, man. We're in the wrong business, Bird.
Oh, man, I wish I was a...
You got to be in the business of government fraud. You got to put a D at the end of your name, and and open up an NGO or some kind of charity or some bullshit whatever you need to do, and then ask for $100,000 loan and put it in your baby's name.
I guess so, dude. We're doing something wrong because I don't have $100,000.
I hear you. I mean, hey, if they want to give me one of those loans, I'll take it, Mr. Government.
I'll at least try and flip it and turn it into $200,000 and give you the $100,000 back.
Hell yeah. But I don't get it, dude. 1-year-olds getting loans, 11-year-olds getting, and they're not. That's just people using.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
They're basically putting $100,000 loans in their, in the names and social security numbers of these young people who will, I'd like to see where the fraud leads to their life.
It's just like it's just like the people who put like their water bills or sewer bills in kids' names. It's almost the same situation, except this is like literally stealing from us.
Somebody had to have, somebody on the receiving end of those, one of those children had to have gotten screwed by that somewhere along the line, I'm sure.
Crazy.
I mean, right, okay, well, these are all, wow. So, yeah, this is, I don't know, dude, it's insane.
I can't believe
$300 million of fraudulent loans to children, that's off the hook.
I can't believe it.
I hope it just doesn't ruin the lives of any of those children financially one day.
Same.
Of those claims have not been released to the public, though.
However, you may recall a similar investigation in North Carolina. Former state treasurer Dale Folwell and his staff found more than $1.2 million of checks cashed as part of the HOPE program. The money was supposed to provide rent and utility assistance to low-income renters experiencing financial hardship due to COVID.
That's wild. Wow, that's wild.
Crazy. That's just your government at work, your Democrat Party. They've been in control since Franklin Roosevelt.
Yeah.
They have been controlling the purse strings for a long time. I guarantee you there's a lot of kickbacks coming. There's a reason why they're diehard defending this, dude. This is a gravy train for the Dems, man.
Oh yeah, dude, they're loving it, dude. Look how much money Bernie Sanders is getting from the medical fields, and he doesn't even have nothing to do with it. And he says it's the people giving it to him. Come on, dude. We know what's going on. No, we're not dumb.
Yeah, it ain't the people. It's
these people are fake socialists. They're fake as hell.
It's those political donors. Bernie could tell the truth. He should be a little more honest. Here's a guy who criticizes millionaires and billionaires, but has made his entire living off of real estate and politics.
These people are pathetic, dude. All right, so before we get into the last part of our show today, let's talk about our friends over at the NRS. Let's talk about the NRS. The NRS is the #1 retail solution that your small business needs. The NRS customized point-of-sale system will help speed up checkout, simplify inventory management, and they even offer a secure NRS payment with credit card processing. For more information, please contact William R. Anderson, Jr., the authorized NRS distributor, or go to their website, www.wrajrplus.com. Again, that address is www.wrajrplus.com, or just give them a call at 216-260-4906. Again, that number is 216-260-4906, and please make sure to let them know that the Conservative Bird and Double D sent you. All right, welcome back. All right, so for the last part, we're actually going to talk about this gold card that Trump's making, and it's actually starting to make splashes, make waves, and it seems like it's going to benefit America greatly. Obviously, it's still new, it's still a fresh idea, but it seems to be working. So if you don't know what we're talking about a month ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, Trump put in this play and he said, we're going to give people $5 million gold cards in exchange for a path to citizenship. And what this is meant to do is to bring businessmen to come over here and have their businesses over here, create more American jobs. So then that way we made money off of that, and we showed somebody that's going to come in and help the country, and we can benefit from them. They can benefit from us, instead of people that are just coming to the country and sucking us dry for everything that we have.
And it's already benefiting us. We got Hyundai is already committing to 20,000 employee steel refinery down in Louisiana.
And didn't John Deere decide to cancel a factory, I believe, in Mexico and bring it back to the United States?
They absolutely did. Yes, they did. Hey, if you bring your business back to America, there is no tariff to worry about.
Exactly, because you're already here. You actually get benefits. I'm pretty sure you get nice tax breaks by having your company in America, where I'll guarantee you're selling a majority of your products anyway.
So my message to the rest of the world and any entrepreneurs out there that want to come here and put Americans to work, my suggestion is buy that gold card and get your ass over here and start working it.
So if you don't know what the gold card is, we'll let Trump tell you what it is. Right.
No tariffs.
No
on
tariffs.
American made.
No tariffs.
You don't have to pay the tariffs if you're making it here.
Right. So if you don't know what the gold card is, we'll let Trump tell you a little bit about it.
Yeah. Taking a live look at the White House right now, where earlier today, President Trump doubled down on plans to sell wealthy foreigners a path to American citizenship. He's calling it a gold card visa, which would be a green card with some extra privileges. Applicants would have to pay $5 million to get it. Trump says it will draw people into the country who bring business with them and create jobs. He also says U.S.-based companies could buy a gold card to bring in highly skilled employees from other countries. Trump says the money collected from the gold cards could go toward alleviating the national debt.
And if you add up the numbers, they're pretty good. As an example, 1 million cards would be worth $5 trillion. $5 trillion.
Wow.
And if you sell 10 million of the cards, that's a total of $50 trillion. Well, we have $35 trillion in debt. That'd be nice. So we'll see.
The so-called gold card would replace the current EB-5 visa program that requires an investment of $1 million to get legal residency in the U.S. President Trump says he plans to launch that program in about 2 weeks.
Awesome.
That's really cool.
That's going to be a huge incentive, man.
It's very smart.
Dude, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. Put tariffs on the other countries and then offer them this, $5 billion gold card to come over here and start a business.
Right.
And it looks like all they really have to start with is $1 million anyway.
Right.
To get started. So
if you didn't see in that video, the guy that was standing next to Trump, this is him right here. I forget exactly what his name is, but he talked about the cards, and he already sold 1,000 of them.
Doesn't it say his name on the bottom there? Go up for a second.
Let's see. Is it Howard Lutnick? Yeah, Howard Lutnick.
Yeah, Howard Lutnick. Yeah, that's him.
And this is Trump's. This is Trump's boy. So right here, he talks a little bit about it, about how he already sold 1,000 of these gold cards. 1,000
Think
of
about
them.
that.
That's $5 billion right there
already. Yep.
And that's just in the first day.
Directly as a
Okay,
government.
so speaking
and this
of,
is what I'm trying to do.
Speaking of potentially great ideas, can you tell us about the Trump card?
Sure. So,
whose idea was that, and how did that come about?
John Paulson had a call with Donald Trump and was talking to Donald Trump and was kicking around the idea of we should sell, right? Why do we give away visas? We should sell them. And they're talking about it. Donald Trump calls me, gets me on the phone, right? We all talk about it, right? And then we go from there. And then my job is to figure out, like I always figure out, how to do it. What's the path?
Do you have
Let's
a
go
path?
figure it out. Of course. About 2 weeks from today, it goes out. Okay? Elon's building me the software right now.
Yeah.
Right? And then out it goes. And by the way, yesterday I sold 1,000.
Oh, you did?
Wow.
I got a poly.
1,000.
That's awesome, man.
He sold 1,000 of these things in one day. right?
So they'll be able to sell a lot of them.
So with the wasteful spending in Doge that we're finding and we're going to cut out, with these gold visas that Trump and them are selling, this is going to bring our national debt hopefully to break even. I think that's what the hopes are, that we could just break even with our national debt and get ourselves out of this funk and get our country back to being the greatest country in the world again, which we still are.
Well, I still believe we are the greatest country, and I
We
know
still
you
are.
Bird.
We
are
still
the
are.
greatest country in the world, but we have had 4 years of bad decision making that has made us a laughing stock around the world too.
And it just made us look so weak to the rest of the world, and it's just
and pathetic.
And people people don't like the way that Trump talks, but at least Trump handles himself like a man to these people and lets them know, you're not going to bully us around. My people come first to me, just like your people should come first to you.
We finally have a president since, I'd have to say, Ronald Reagan.
Yes.
That is honestly putting Americans first.
I love it.
And I know we've heard Barack Obama say it. We've heard George W. say it. We've heard Bill Clinton say it. But the truth be told, Ronald Reagan and Donald Trump are the only two presidents in my lifetime who have honestly delivered on that promise.
Oh, yeah, because we all know the only thing that Barack Obama did was put the rainbow community first. That was it.
Well, and he put he put the EU first.
Yeah.
He put us in situations.
These people don't care about us.
He put us in that raw deal with NATO where we paid for everything, and they don't even pay their share, for God's sakes.
Nope.
And it's not even that much.
Nope, because
they're like
all of our leaders have been so weak that they get personal gain from it, so they don't really care at the end of the day. They're like, "Hey, I'm rich. I don't care." They don't care about us. They don't care about the common everyday people.
The EU has been pimping out and hustling American presidents since basically George W. And I'm sorry, it is what it is.
And that's why they don't like us, though. That's exactly why they don't like us.
And they're not going to like our honesty right now either, but that's just the way it is. We finally got a president said America first, Americans first, and if you don't like it, fuck off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's just a fact,
That's
Jack.
where we're at. That's a fact, Jack.
All right, so I like this whole gold card thing. I think it could be something great for us. It brings prosperity.
It's a good incentive.
It brings prosperity to the country. I'd rather have a bunch of millionaires, billionaires coming over here and wanting to establish themselves in this country, as opposed to a bunch of people that want to come over and just take from us
and creating businesses, and in every industry. I mean, like tourist industry, the auto industry, the steel industry. We have all these resources right here.
Yes.
And you know what? I'm just going to quote, the great Donald Trump, drill, baby, drill, and don't stop.
I like it. I love it. All right. So I feel like we got all of our topics out of the way that we wanted to. So I think we're going to end it on that note. I just want to thank everybody for stopping by. If you could, please make sure to hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the share, smash the notification. It really helps out a lot. I would like to thank my family. I would like to thank God for giving me this opportunity. Without him, nothing is possible. I'd like to thank Double D. I'm appreciative of everybody, especially God. Appreciative of all of you.
And as always, I thank you, Bird. I thank our audience. And most importantly, I'd like to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Good night, y'all.
Yes, sir. And this is the Brick Road Podcast. Peace.